This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcasts on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Screen, a friend of the show, 4th year at Evansville, my man David Ragland. Rags, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Man, on this road, brother, Chicago, a little ways for him in Chicago. Head out to New York here, man. A little chilly up here in Chicago.
Yeah, but I say the Windy City's no joke. That's no joke.
No, it's not. And, bro, what threw me off, I should have respected it. They had the ice down for the hockey, the Blackhawks. So the arena was like icebox cold last night.
You got to take your winter coat in there. You got to take your winter coat in that bad boy.
Yes, indeed, man. But bro, like, how you been doing up there in Evansville, man? I see you and the guys doing well. Your staff still doing
Yep.
well. All the guys, man. G and Snow and them
Yep.
brothers up there, man. You still grinding, I see, brother.
Yeah, man, we doing well. No, Coach Snow, Coach G, DJ, Peter, Sammy, Bo, man, we're all working away. We've had a really successful off season, just with our recruiting. You know how it goes. As soon as the season's over with, you're knee deep in on the transfer portal, and we got started on that. Once we got through all the dust, I guess, once all the dust settled in January, we found ourselves with 9 new guys. 6 guys that are part of our program returned, and we went straight to work. This summer was very successful in terms of weight room on the court, getting guys jump started and continued academically. Then this fall has been really, really good as well. Super competitive with our team, consistent in just their work and their habits. Now we're a closed door scrimmage and an exhibition game down, and one step closer, one day closer to opening day at Purdue at Mackey Arena against #1 team in the country.
And Rags, man, for you, man, how cool is it to see your team kind of get some film on the watch really against another jersey?
Yeah.
Because them
Yeah.
closing scrimmages, the scrimmage exhibitions, you kind of know what you have, and then you kind of tighten up things where you want, how you
Yep.
want to play, guys, with groups play well together, finding the right mix and the right interactions with everybody. So talk about this for you instead of kind of doing that self-scout and see what
Yeah.
you can really do to get ready for that Purdue game on Thursday coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, spot on, boss, man. That's exactly what we told our guys, man. That, going into, closed door scrimmages and exhibition games, winning is not the objective. Learning is. You learn I guess your combinations that work well with one another. You learn, kind of here's what we've been working on offensively and defensively with our philosophy. Here's some things we need to tweak. Here are some actions where we're really getting a lot of mileage out of. Here are some coverages that we really need to dial in on. It just gives you a clearer picture, I would say, how it looks against someone else. We did 3 scrimmages with inter squad scrimmages, and they were good. But again, you're playing against yourself, and you know what's on the way offensively, defensively, what adjustments, tweaks. It's hard to be surprised. So then you have those closed doors and exhibitions, and it's been really, really good. And we talked about this with our group. It's just been better for us to lock in, zero in on details. Maybe it's positioning. Maybe it's um, getting closer to our man and certain coverages. Just better flow with the ball defensively. And just being sharper, just being sharper. At the end of the day, we'll continue to learn that throughout our non-conference and how we can be better on both sides of the ball. But just trying to make sure we know what our staples are. Here's our non-negotiables, and then now we can build on our philosophy on both sides of the basketball. And it's been a great learning experience the last 2 weeks, and it's going to help us be really, really sharp this week of practice as we gear up for our season opener.
And Raz, I got an interesting question for you, brother, because in the NBA, I'm noticing teams aren't really deploying some of their prime actions. It's kind of still kind of basic right now. And for you in the college basketball world, at what point do you start deploying more of your concepts out there? Because you got conference play coming up, but how you can have the balance, keeping some stuff kind of we're gonna play our basic stuff before really deciding if I'm really unleash the beast per se, as the NBA kind of slow walking themselves into it right now.
Yeah, no, you have to be strategic. Do a little of both. I mean, if you don't, we've done this in years past where we don't do anything in terms of like kind of our quick hitters or ATOs, and you never know unless you do it in a game. Um, and we've kind of sprinkled in a little bit in both games that we played because you have to do it against somebody else before you know, hey man, like it looks good on paper, it looks good on film. Let's see if it actually works. So we'll slowly kind of sprinkle in some of those quick hitters and ATOs throughout the non-conference season, and then once we get into conference play, we can tweak it some more. We can build upon maybe one that is working, and then the ones that aren't, we can kind of tweak those a little bit to make them a little bit better, or maybe even scrap them. But we'll gradually build that in. One thing that we want to do as a group, and we feel like we can be strong at, and we offensively been able to kind of rest on our what we call our breakdown offense, like the play after the play. And that's more through our roster. We have recruited a roster that is more conducive to the way that the style that we want to play offensively. More guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot and make really good decisions. More guys that are skilled that can make an open jump shot, that can drive a closeout. That's been more of our focus. But we will start to unleash the beast, as you say, as the season goes on, and get some of our quick hitters and ATOs, and really, just kind of see where our advantage is as the season goes on.
Right, it's funny you say that, but I know with the Hawks here, man, it's like we go to our primary, secondary, main action, secondary action, then
Yeah.
it goes down to our red alert action. So
Yeah.
you talk,
It's go time. Yeah, you get late in that clock, it's go time.
yeah. So yeah, like it's funny to hear you say that. That's exactly what we're doing. What you're saying, like we had at
Yeah.
certain point, 8 seconds on shot clock is gonna go down. We
Yeah.
call it our red alert actions. We just go,
Yeah.
but the thing about it is he changes up from game to game what they are.
Right.
So you
right.
may think, oh, this,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
wrong.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah. And which is really wise, and that's something that we look at as well. Is every team defends a little bit differently because of their roster makeup. And as the season gets going, teams get settled in at doing certain things. So you have to play chess the entire season, and you have to have your base, but you better be ready to pivot. Depending on who you're playing against.
Yeah, man. Cause I know it's funny with having Trey Young. Is either going to be they're going to blitz and they're going to hard hit him with two slides. They may just switch 2 through 4 and may keep the one on him, go over it. So it's funny to watch the different strategies how they decide to defend him because you put 2 on him, you let him go and give an open 3 to somebody.
Yeah,
he let him to the basket. You can get it's like he puts you in a bind offensively.
Exactly.
So it's funny to watch the strategy on how to defend the Trey Young pick and roll late in the clock. It's really funny to watch and see how teams do it every night.
Exactly. I mean, especially when you got somebody dangerous like that, like where it doesn't matter what you do, like you're kind of making a mistake, and that's what we've taught our group. We're continue to work on just the offense that we play. Our base offense is a defense mistake offense. Like whatever they're doing, they're making a mistake. So like, don't fight it.
Yes.
Just go to the next action, and before you know it, we're getting a layup from a back cut, or a drive and kick 3, or a drive and drift of one more 3. But we're gonna find where you're given on that defensive possession. So no, man, I like that strategy, and I love like watching that. That's the one thing like I love. People ask like, man, do you watch these games the same? Whether it's college or pro or even high school. Since I've been coaching this, going on 22 years now, and it's hard to, like you find yourself, and I found myself just trying to find the chess match, like what chess match are the coaches playing this game, and you see the teams trying to take away the other team's strengths and also trying to play toward their strengths, on both sides of the ball. And it's just a fun watch to see how that chess match is being played.
Now, Brady is the coach of ours here at the Hawks, so it's
Yeah.
funny. He says sometimes seasons are bad and worse. Some of them are bad and some are worse.
That's
Which one are you
good.
gonna pick, bad or worse?
That's good. No, that's good. Hey, it feels like that sometimes. It feels like that plenty of times.
What should be in my head should be in my heart. Either way, we're screwed.
Yeah.
That's because we played Shake His Alexander on Saturday night. He was like,
Right.
bad
Right.
or worse?
Yeah.
Head or heart? Which one?
Which one you want? That's real
He
life.
still
That's
scored
funny.
30.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. Holding shade at 30 is solid.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I love that because I think, like you said, Rash, for me, being son of a coach, having played myself, man, like I watching the game a little different than the fans watch it because I'm watching for certain things. Because I talk to the fans all the time, Rags, you watch the all 10 players, watch the weak side action, what's going on the weak side.
Right.
It's something going on the weak side you can pick up on. Watch that and watch the movement and watch how guys are moving in unison and they're interacting with each other to get to a certain thing.
Exactly.
Trying to get, so I try to tell them the fans here, don't just watch the ball, watch the weak side.
Yeah. Watch it all develop. Like, and you're right, man. Like, if more folks would see that, they'd appreciate the art of it. Like at the end of the day, like it's. I mean, it's a beautiful game. And I was watching something the other day. A buddy of mine sent it to me, but it was like beautiful basketball, and it was a bunch of clips of just guys making offensively making the right play, hitting, if you're looking at baseball, hitting singles to get to that get the bucket. And it was just playing the right way, getting downhill, feeding the ball to your teammate, watching them cut, watching them move, just poetry in motion. But it's an art form, and there's more appreciation the more that you widen your lens, so to speak, of the game, and you see just plays develop.
Because Rag, sometime on the show, I share the screen I pull up the Zoom and I go through clips, show them Zoom, show them wide pins, ram steers, 45s. I show them these things I can understand, not just call it a play. That makes me want to cringe. No, it's an action, not a play.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. And then there's also plays after the play, like, and there's timing to it, right? Like you got to know when to 45, you got to know when to glide, you got to know when to. Yeah, there's you can't just do it on a whim. Like it has to be. Hey, my teammate is driving baseline. It's time for me to cut and circle the rim, or get to the we call it the NBA, but it's next best action. You got to know when to get to the next best action, and it's not just when you feel like it. Now it looks messy. Now we just look crazy out there.
Yeah, man, what you saying? Well, I love about your roster, Rags, man. You got switchable sides, man. Like you can switch 1 through 4, 1 through 5 if you have to. You can really cause a problem with that limb. Talk about that when you're building your roster, brother. Thinking about defensively being able to be switchable and play different coverages based on the size you have and causing problems, and hopefully get the rebound and get up the floor with some good quick action.
Absolutely. And that's what we looked at is how we've really improved our defense since we've been here. And a lot of it is, we've gotten bigger, we've gotten taller, and we've been able to switch position 1 through 5 a lot of times. When you have guys that are 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot that can cover and move and slide their feet, the one thing, like when you look at the game, like what are the higher percentage shots at the rim? Well, if you can have size and protect the paint, you keep people away from the rim. And then if they do get to the rim and you have guys that can block and alter shots, now you're lowering those higher percentage shots. And that's been our focus is, let's get positional size. Let's also not lose. Like sometimes when you go positional size, some people think like you cut out athleticism or speed. You got to be able to find that too. And sometimes like vertical athleticism, like lateral athleticism is just as important as vertical athleticism. And we feel like we've been able to recruit positional size and not give up lateral speed and quickness, which has helped our switchability defensively. And then that limits people getting to the paint, getting downhill, living at the rim. And it keeps them on the perimeter. And now we're making them take tough contested twos or even threes, and then those longer shots equal long rebounds. And now our guys are tracking down rebounds and they're getting them more at the free throw line, the half court, and that's already leading the break. So now your quote unquote disadvantage defensively becomes your advantage offensively. And before you know it, you're living at the rim on the offensive end. So uh, we have a 6, 7 point guard from Germany, and a lot of people are like, when they look at our team, they're like, they don't look that big because they're all the same size. And then you get up on them and you're like, oh, this dude's actually like he's tall. But to have a point guard of that stature that can still move on both ends of the floor is really, really important. We play our twin, quote unquote, twin towers often together. We had two guys that are 6'11", both that can really, really move defensively. We brought in, speaking of the shy, we brought in AJ Casey, who's from Chicago, started his career at Miami of Florida, and was at St. Louis last year. He's 6'9" and can really move. He can easily guard 1 through 5. We just have multiple guys that can do that. We have a transfer from North Carolina Central and Keyshawn Porter, who is 6'4", long arms, really defends like a ball hawk, really defends the perimeter well. But he's got a ticker, man. He plays really, really hard. So somebody's going into the post, he's gonna fight you. Like it's gonna be a fight. So every position, I mean, we don't give up, the athleticism. We don't give up the height. We don't give up the speed. We don't give up the fight, which is even more important. And it allows us to keep people out of the paint, away from the rim, and helps us to get down the court and then transition a lot quicker.
And Raz, I think what you did, man, your height and athleticism in the Valley, they play slow and position in basketball. So you, out of contrast, it can maybe speed them up some,
Yeah.
And I think that can really be your advantage because I think a lot of teams have to come play slow, which blows my mind sometimes. So watching it, but still, but I love what you're doing because you can speed them up and use that athleticism. Get that long rebound, have a guy run a go route. First, we call it go route. Get the heat like up a dug. Like you said, they did advantage. They're trying to get back, kill them in transition, boom, to set yourself back up, do it again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and that's the thing, when you look at any sport, you kind of want to be a chameleon. You want to be you have your staples and have your identity and do what you do, but you don't want to be caught in a situation where we don't do that. We're uncomfortable. We can't play that way. And we know our league is a slower paced league. Belmont is probably one of the quicker paced teams that we have in our league outside of us. Murray State is going to play quicker as well. I do think that Illinois State has that in their arsenal to be able to play a little bit quicker than Indiana State has played quicker. But outside of that, we're just a slower paced team, more of a possession based team, and we're in a situation where we can do both. We can. We're playing a quote unquote track meet. All right, let's run then. Let's get these thoroughbreds out and let's run. And if we're going to slow it down and be meticulous in our offensive and defensive schemes, we can do that too. And we just, back to like your point of, playing, scrimmage games and exhibitions. That's when you have an opportunity to teach your your team time to score. Like this game may have been a track meet for a while, but like we had the lead. There's 3 minutes in the game. Like if we're up 8 points, we don't need to speed this thing up anymore. Like we got enough to win. We just gotta, manage the clock properly. So like that's the beauty of playing your closed door and your exhibition is you have an opportunity to really get in some real life situations where you try to set those up in practice, and it's like really, it helps them. Like you got the guardrails up, but in a game, like you got to respond the right way, or you find yourself in a tough situation. But no, just being able to pivot and kind of be a chameleon and play different styles while having a base of what we do is going to become a strength of ours.
That's what's up, brother. I told y'all, every brother, I'm going to see December 6th in Western Kentucky, brother. I have a nice off day. I said I can see my man play, man. So I'm going to see you, Western Kentucky, brother. I'll be cheering for you, man. As always, my guy. I want you to do very well this hope. We're talking again in March when you're cutting out the net to St. Louis, my brother, at Arch Madness, brother.
Absolutely. And I always appreciate you and your support. I love what you do. Always following you, but look forward to seeing you December 6th.
Oh, hey, brother, same here, my guy. It was fun as always, my guy.
All right. Take care now.
All right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
If your small business has a problem, you could say,
"Ugh, just my luck."
But you should say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
And we'll help get you back in business. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
My uncontrollable movements, called TD, tardive dyskinesia, felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnecting. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza, a prescription medicine clinically proven for reducing TD in adults. That's always one capsule, once daily, and #1 prescribed. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds.
Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden behavior or mood changes, or suicidal thoughts. Don't take Ingrezza if allergic. Serious side effects may include allergic reactions like sudden, potentially fatal swelling and hives, sleepiness, the most common side effect, and heart rhythm problems. Know how Ingrezza affects you before operating a car or dangerous machinery. Report fever, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these might be life-threatening. Shaking, stiffness, drooling, and trouble with moving or balance may occur.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Learn more at Ingrezza.com. That's INGREZZA.com.
Another negative pregnancy test. But this Black Friday, you can feel in control of your conception journey again and get pregnant 10 times faster. It's Mira's biggest sale, and it could help you to stop feeling lost, even if your cycles are long and ovulation has felt impossible to find. Mira measures 4 key hormones with clinical accuracy, so you can finally see what your body is doing and time things right to get pregnant. Get 30% off Mira for Black Friday. Check out miracare.com.
Hey neighbor, celebrate the holidays with Birch Lane. Our timeless furniture and decor are delivered for free in days, not weeks. It's classic style for joyful living. Shop Birch Lane, a Wayfair specialty brand at birchlane.com.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.